Hi everyone, so we're up here in Whistler and we're actually on a mountain bike trail, so you might see some mountain bikers scooting by.
Or joggers.
Yeah, lots of people walking by today.
We use these trails for simple hikes or sometimes going for a run, so it's really nice. We're staying at Riverside RV. We've stayed there before. We'll put a link to some of our previous videos. It's a commercial site. It's nice. The spots are kind of narrow, but as expected in a commercial property. But it's nice because it's really close to Green Lake. It's about a 20-minute walk into the village. We're close to these mountain bike trails, like a 2-minute distance. So we came in last night. We went for dinner, had a nice dinner down by Green Lake, and came back, had a nice evening. This morning got up and there was a bear a couple of feet away. I thought it was actually a dog at first. I was about to call it, and it turns out it's a nice little bear. We'll show you some footage of that.
So in this video we're going to talk about a few things. First of all, we're going to give you a little update on BC parks. There's been some changes to the day use situation
For a number of the larger parks.
And then we'll give you a bit of a heads up on our upcoming trip next week. We're going up to the Canadian Rockies again, and it's going to be a really epic trip, so we'll talk about that.
We hope.
Yeah, and we'll also show you a little bit of the hikes that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So we hope you enjoyed this video.
As many of you know, there were some changes to the BC Park system a little while ago, but they also made a change that was implemented a couple of weeks ago, and 6 of the larger parks, most of them are in the Lower Mainland, now have a requirement where you need to go online and book a reservation to do a hike for the day. The 6 parks are Mount Robson, and it's the Berg Lake Trail, I believe, at Mount Robson. Garibaldi Lake, most of the trails. Golden Ears, all of the trails. Mount Seymour, Cypress, and the Squamish Chief all have day pass requirements.
Basically, you have to get your pass online the day of your hike, and it starts at 6 o'clock. So you have to log on and get a pass. Make sure you have it on your computer or print it out so that you can show it to the BC Parks Ranger when you get to the park. Discovercamping.ca.
The passes are free, but you just have to have one if you're going to hike in any of those days. The other park that's still not open that's very popular is Joffre Lakes, and I suspect that will probably remain closed for a long period of time yet. Actually, a friend of ours, Henry Wang, recently did a dive there. We'll put a link to his video. You can imagine, if you know Joffre Lakes, it's a beautiful glacial lake up at about 1,600 meters, so that's about 5,200 feet of elevation. So Henry and his colleagues did a dive there for BC Parks, were flown in by helicopter because the park is closed, and did a dive to retrieve some gear that had been lost in the lake. So you can imagine how challenging that dive would have been, and kudos to Henry and his team for helping out BC Parks.
Yeah, so we've got a link in the description below for Henry's video. So with respect to our upcoming trip, so we'll be leaving in about a week. First of all, towards Waterton Lakes National Park, and Waterton Lakes National Park is on the southern side of Alberta, so the province next to us, and it's right across the border, so it's not too far away.
Border between Alberta and BC.
That's right. We actually booked the campsite at the beginning of the year, so we weren't aware of what was going to happen with COVID. But luckily, our reservation's still intact. The park is open in a limited sense, and all the safety protocols in place. So we're just going to go there for a few days. En route, we'll probably stop at a few BC parks and enjoy some of what BC has to offer. And after we leave Waterton Lakes, we're going to head up to Yoho National Park again, but this time we actually managed to get some camping passes for the Lake O'Hara region, which we've been really dying to do. It's like the crown jewel, really. It's a beautiful area, and so we actually managed to get a campsite there, a tenting site. The only caveat to that is that we had booked a bus to take us up an 11-kilometer logging road to get to our campsite, but now they're not running the buses anymore because of COVID, so we're going to have to backpack it in. And
which is fine. We just haven't backpacked for a little while, so we're kind of looking forward to that, actually.
They're only letting people with existing reservations come, so you can't make new reservations anymore, so there might, the campground might be fairly empty. We have no idea.
Hoping the weather is actually nice because, walking in, we've 3 nights there, and if it's rainy and stormy, well, that might not be as pleasant. And then we'll head back, and we'll be certainly probably enjoying the shower of our van when we get back.
So hope you guys tune in for our next few videos.
Yeah, should be fun. Kind of looking forward to it. So last week we were actually at Manning Park. We've been there a number of times. As many of you know, if you've been watching our channel, we love that place. It's just great for hiking or paddling. We had a very nice campsite.
Our campsite was one that we booked early when they first opened reservations at the Mule Deer Campground, and it's site number 28, M28, and it was amazing. It was private, there weren't too many other sites around, and it was right next to the river, so we really lucked out.
Yeah, the one thing about Mule Deer is a lot of the sites are reasonably close to the highway, so if you can get a site right next to the river, you get that white noise, which is great.
Yeah, and then we also did a hike up the Skyline 1 trail. It's a little confusing. Skyline 1 actually does the circuit. It goes from Lightning Lakes, and you can actually end at the Strawberry Flats trailhead. But we only just did the one portion in and out from Lightning Lake.
About half the trip.
Yeah, there's a turn off to Lightning Lakes campground. So you just turn off on the gravel road and you stay on the right and you'll get to the Spruce Bay day use parking, and that's where we were able to park, and you can hike on the trails right from there.
Weather is kind of mixed, as you'll see from some of the video, but generally we had a really nice trip.
Tomorrow we're actually going to be doing a hike in the Whistler area. We're not sure exactly where.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm actually suffering I've got a foot injury, so my hiking ability is a little bit impaired, and we're not too sure what we're going to do, but we'll end up either doing, probably a medium hike somewhere.
Yeah, it's a long weekend. We've got a few days here, so we're pretty relaxed and we're enjoying our stay. But we're also commenting too that there seems to be a lot more people on the trails this time around, and we're kind of assuming that it's all BC residents getting out after being cooped up for months.
One of the things that we noted last night is we were at the Hole 19 restaurant at Nicholas North for dinner, and again their COVID-19 protocols were great. Took our name for contact information if there was ever an outbreak, seated us and the tables had lots of room.
Yeah.
Menu was contactless, so you had to use your phone to access the QR code, and that worked really well. It was just, they did a great job, and of course our views were mountains and Green Lake, which is itself just wonderful. So
now we're going to just continue exploring the trails up here at Lost Lake in Whistler, and then we'll share our hike with you tomorrow and the rest of the trip. Gordon is putting his painful heel in the glacial water and iced it. So we're in Darcy area at our friend's property, and we thought we'd just stop by to get away from the crowd of Whistler.
And I'm not actually able to hike today. My heel is really sore. I either have a heel bruise or I've got plantar fasciitis, and I guess time will tell. But even though we didn't do any long trip yesterday, we still probably walked 20 kilometers, and that was just too much for my foot as it was trying to recover. So today we're just doing a little bit of a drive. We drove down through Pemberton, and as Mickey said, we're near Darcy at our friend's property. We've got this beautiful creek.
Yeah, and the mountains in the back.
Nice mountains behind us.
Yeah, so sorry we couldn't get any hiking footage for you today, but what we'll do is leave you with some footage from our hike on the Skyline Trail in Manning Park. Thanks so much for watching our video, and we'll see you next time. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and we'll leave you with the footage of the Manning Park hike.
I think we're at the top of the rise.
This is our lunch spot. Sorry for the wind noise. It's pretty windy up here.